Hey guys, welcome back to another Dead Mall video. So today we're going to be heading over to Ohio and to a town called Bowling Green to check out the Woodland Mall. Now I was here several years ago just passing through on our way home from Cedar Point, and it was completely dead at that time. So on my last video someone actually commented that I should go check it out again, and I actually had forgotten all about the place until I saw that comment, so I do appreciate that. And had I not seen that comment, I probably would never have thought about going back there. So let's head back over to Bowling Green, Ohio to see if the Woodland Mall is as dead as it was several years ago. Now upon coming up to this mall, first thing I noticed, they had a Sears, which was really interesting because that's not something you're going to see a lot, especially in a really small town like this. And also the place is completely small. It's a very, very small. It's one of the smallest malls that I've ever seen. I would say the only one that kind of compares to the size would be the Logansport Mall in Logansport, Indiana, which I'll put a link to that mall in the description if you want to check that out. But it was kind of similar in that size, maybe a little bit bigger, but still a very, very small place. Now right there is the Sears. Now it is not a full-line Sears. It's actually considered a Sears hometown store. But they do mostly have appliances, tools, exercise equipment. They don't have any kind of clothing or anything like that. And this Elder Beerman sign was absolutely amazing. It was one of the nicest I've ever seen. I've actually never seen a Elder Beerman with gold lettering like that. Unfortunately, the store was closed. Now they do still have all their Christmas things up. This was actually recorded on January 4th on a Saturday. I don't know how long they keep their Christmas stuff up, but the mall inside actually looked nice. It was clean. It wasn't all messed up or torn up. There weren't, missing ceiling tiles all over or burnout lights. It actually looked pretty nice. Now, these little plants here, I don't understand. They're so small. But anyway, on the right, there's actually a gym. That's something that you're going to see in a lot of dead malls, gyms moving in. Usually it's a Planet Fitness, but here it was a independently owned gym, and there were actually a lot of people in there. I was pretty surprised to see. Now I do remember back when I came to this place years ago, it was completely dead at that time, but it's actually gotten much worse. That was probably about 10 years ago. And this middle section, which looks to be what used to be a food court, is now just a huge flea market. And you can see there on the left, it's all the restaurants that would have been the food court. They're all closed, although some of them still had a lot of stuff in it. So I don't know if they open sometimes or just whenever, but they weren't open on this day. But the food court area was just a huge mess of flea market junk, and it looked really, really bad. And right there on the left is actually the theater, and we'll come back to that here in a second. But the reason that I really wanted to go down here is because this entire wing of the mall is dead. There is a little bar and grill on the right, which you can't really see in the shot, but I don't know if it was even open. But on the left is actually a little place where you can do craft things like painting and pottery and stuff like that. It's not really my thing, but if somebody wants to go do that, that's a good thing. And there were actually a few people in there, so. But this entire wing was completely dead, and there's a dead anchor right there. And of course the mall has all the necessary little money makers like photo booth, hurricane simulator, sticker maker, stuff like that. It's just funny how at one time, whoever invented those things, like who came up with a hurricane simulator, and who actually thought this is going to be huge, and sold these and convinced mall owners that these are going to make money. Now this mall was built in 1987, and the last time it was renovated was 2002. I couldn't find any kind of records or anything showing that anything has really been done to it since then. It definitely looks like it was built in 1987. I don't know what they renovated in 2002, but it still looks very, very dated, especially when you look at the ceiling. That it's kind of like a plastic mesh covering that covers up the lights. That reminds me of maybe like 1989 style of a department store. It definitely looks like it needs to be replaced and updated, but I don't see that ever happening. Now coming up here is the Dunhams ports. Apparently they can't afford to light up the S, but unfortunately it does not have mall entrance. And you know, I thought maybe they just hadn't opened it yet, but this was actually on a Saturday at probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so obviously if it's not open at that time, they never do. I don't know if they had problems with theft. Usually that's what makes a store do that, but it just seems like if you're going to be an anchor in a mall, give mall entrance. Otherwise, what's the point? There's an old directory. A lot of that stuff is still accurate, although there's no elder beerman anymore. And then here's a church. That's one thing you're going to see in a lot of dead malls is churches moving in. Although this one was a little funny because all their signs and everything made it look like they're the extreme church. Like, get extreme with this church. I've never seen an extreme church. I don't know what they do in there. Just so many empty stores. It's pretty incredible. Now, right here on the right, I didn't film in there because there were kids in there. It was like a play area. But all it was a couple recliners and some old dirty toys. But there on the right here is a sports store. I actually thought about going in there, but everything was just covered in plastic. So again, you never know when these places are going to be open. And I kind of noticed that a lot. When you go to dead malls, the store owners just kind of get the attitude like, we're going to open whenever we feel like it. So they don't really have a set schedule, which is really unfortunate because if you go to the mall and the mall's open and you're intending on going to a store, you expect it to be open, but you just never know with these places. I wanted to head back to this place and just catch one more shot of the Skylight. This entire wing is completely dead, but the Skylight looked really, really nice. Unfortunately, there's no stores or anything down there other than that crafting place for people to go down there to see it, but that's a really nice Skylight. Now, after I went in and to the hurricane simulator, I'm just kidding, but I went back down this way and there is the theater right there. That is the Cinemark cinema, and it looked very, very, very retro looking. I don't know, I didn't get to see the actual inside, but they had new movies playing like Star Wars and Jumanji, so I really would be interested to see what the theater looks like inside. It has really good reviews online though. Here's some more shots of the restaurants. Of course, nothing was open, and this coffee place here looks like it may have been open recently, or like they do open sometimes, but again, you just never know about these malls if anything is going to be open when they're supposed to be. And then they also do racing. Here on the right is actually an indoor racetrack, and apparently I was looking online, they actually have tournaments, and actually people come here from all over to do this racing, and I really thought that would be fun to watch, and of course nothing was happening on that day. They do have a set schedule and it's on their door, but that would be really fun to watch. Here's another shot of the Sears. Again, it's just a hometown Sears store. It's not a full line, so you're not going to get clothing or furniture or anything like that in there. It looked to be just appliances, tools, some exercise equipment, but there were actually some people in there. And again, the elder beerman, that is such a nice elder beerman storefront. I've never seen one that had gold lettering like that. It's a shame that it had to close, but at least they kept all the lighting and the signage up because it looks really, really nice. Now this mall is like the epitome of a country, rural mall, especially when you turn around and you look across the road. It's just a big field. It's like in the middle of nowhere. The town looks to be very, very small. I think down the street was a Kroger and just a few little restaurants here and there, but there is an actual university that's kind of down from here, but I don't know, there wasn't much really going on in this town. It's just a really small area. The mall was very, very clean, but there's just nothing going on in there. It's unfortunate that the store owners just kind of open whenever they feel like it. You know, I actually would have went in a couple of those stores, but they weren't open, or they looked to be open, but they didn't. They had all their stuff covered up for whatever reason. But unfortunately, that is the end of the video. So I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a great day, great week, and thanks again.